isn't it? But if we have the mercy of the Guru, and if we have that right mood and in the association of the devotees, we start to understand Bhagavad Gita better, each time better. And so, even though it was the first time that was revealed to Dhanyan, he was able to understand the entire essence of the Isopanisad. So that is what it means, that even that is what it means, that when it was revealed to him, he was able to understand. Is that clear?
Yes, Mataji. So my second question falls in the same category. So we have heard of the disciplic succession, that everything originates from Krishna. So, and here Upanishad also means that Nishad means being, or bringing closure to the Supreme Lord. So just wanted to understand, Mataji, why the Dhyan and Atharvana is being chosen to be the Isopanishad revealer, because we have heard many of the great personalities in Srimad Bhagavatam that they have personally seen Lord. Then why not this perfect science of Krishna being revealed to them, and why they have specifically chosen, or being Dadyan and Artavana being the recipients of this?
Why he had this mercy? Why Arjuna only? Why Arjuna received mercy? Why didn't we?
Because he was the very dear friend of Krishna.
So I'm sure he's the Lord also. He's a beautiful instrument, because you see, he has a clean heart and he's transmitting the knowledge without any adulteration, maybe. There are many, many devotees. There are many, many pure devotees whom we don't even know. The spiritual sky is full of so many Vaikuntha planets. So are the Vaikuntha planets empty? No, the Vaikuntha planets have so many devotees, which we don't even know. Actually, here, for example, I'm just giving an example. Srimad Bhagavatam was heard Brahma heard in Bhagavatam in 4 verses. But for us, it was 18,000 verses. But in the upper planetary system, it's 1 lakh verses. So what is 1 lakh verses about? There are more glorious devotees, there are many, many devotees, many glorious devotees. Can you just hold for 1 minute? I'm so sorry. I just need to mute myself. I just need to take. I'm extremely so sorry for the disturbance. So yeah, why he? So he's qualified to be, there are so many devotees. Why Vyasadeva was chosen? Of course, Vyasadeva is also the literary incarnation of the Supreme Lord. Why him? We are also chosen to be part of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's movement. Why not anyone else? Why not some of our non-devotee friends? Why are they not chosen? Because we have the mercy of the Vaishnavas, we have the mercy of the Guru Parampara, we have the mercy of the Krishna. Yeah, and but because it's a causeless mercy, so we have the opportunity to share this mercy without having any discrimination. Whether someone takes it or not, it depends upon them. But the mercy is everywhere. But only few people want to take it. So few people are still waiting to, take the opportunity. Right? Okay.
Yes, Mataji. Thank you.
Okay. And any other questions? There was one more.
Yes. Why one more question, Mataji?
Yes, Prabhu.
Sorry for asking for that.
No,
So,
it's
Mataji,
okay.
why Srila Prabhupada ji in the initial years explicitly wrote this book? Because during those times it was a struggle period, and Bhagavad Gita and from Chaitanya Charitamrita, the 2 primary books, he was giving lectures or everything. Then why Isopanishad also?
Yeah, just a few more minutes and we'll come to that point of discussion. Thank you. Thank you. So again, so did we finish this? So there is a subdivision. Everyone can see my screen, right? Yeah. So there is a subdivision of each Veda, and then in each Veda there are four divisions, like how the Vedas. And that's why, like if someone says they want to study the Vedas, it's a vast ocean. You will be easily lost coming to the conclusion. You may be just stuck up into the rituals or the hymns or theologies, but you may not be able to come to like the real essence. And what is the essence of the entire Vedas? Can anyone quote a verse from the Bhagavad Gita? Yes, Shubham Prabhu.
Mataji, is it like 15.15? Sarvashtra Amrite Sanvishto, Matasmriti Gyanaponam cha, Vedeshu Sarvesh,
Vedasya Sarvesh.
Aham Veda, I'm forgetting that shlok. But it is
Yeah.
15.15.
Yes. So Krishna says, I'm the compiler of the Vedas, and I'm also, to be known by the Vedas, right? So someone can be lost in this vast ocean of the Vedas. So, but we are given Bhagavad Gita, we are given Srimad Bhagavatam, and then, even though we don't know all these Vedas, but we know the essence of the Vedas. Now, going back into the same thing, how these 11 Upanishads are categorized. You see, in Rig Veda is Aitreya Veda, Upanishad. In Yajurveda is Khatha, Isha, Taittiriya, Brihanraka. Sama is Keshan, Chandogya. And Atharva is Prashna, Mundaka, and Manduka. So there how the Upanishads are again classified. In which Veda is this Upanishad coming? Now, apart from the Shrutis, there is another branch of knowledge. This is again just general knowledge for us to understand. Apart from the Shruti means that which we learn by hearing, right? Smriti means that which is written already. Smritis are written. So in Smriti Shastras, there are four categories again. Itihasas, Dharma Shastras, Saddarshanas, and Puranas. Interestingly, in Itihasas, the Bhagavad Gita comes. So in Itihasa is Ramayana and Mahabharata, and also Bhagavad Gita. Bhagavad Gita is considered Shruti as well as Smriti. It's not just why it is Smriti, it's also why is it Smriti? Because it's compiled by Vyasadeva, right? It is spoken by Krishna, that's why it's Shruti. But Bhagavad Gita is also Smriti because it is compiled by Vyasadeva. Now there are different Dharma Shastras, Manusmriti, Yajnavalka, Narada, Vishnu Smriti. And then there are Sad Darshans. There are different kinds of darshans analyzing the 24 elements and coming to the conclusion. They use different angles of vision to see. Mimamsa, Uttamimamsa, Nyaya, Vaisheshika, Yoga, Purva, Samyaka. And then the Puranas. Out of the 18 Puranas, the top, the king of all the Puranas is the Srimad Bhagavatam. Now, I will tell you why we are talking about Shrutis and Smritis in a minute. Now, this question comes. Prabhupada also writes in the Chaitanya Charitamrita, Madhya Leela, 22nd chapter, 118 purport. In our Krishna conscious movement, we have therefore limited our study to the Vedic literatures to Bhagavad Gita, Srimad Bhagavatam, Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita, and Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. These four works are sufficient for preaching purposes. They are adequate for understanding of the philosophy and spreading of missionary activities all over the world. Now, the question again, it comes, then why Isopanishads? Then Prabhupada himself is saying that it's enough you read Bhagavad Gita, Srimad Bhagavatam, Chaitanya Charitamrita, NOD. So why Isopanishad? Now, first of all, we want to draw a similarity between Bhagavad Gita and Isopanishad. What are the 5 tattvas or the truths that are explained in the Bhagavad Gita? Can anyone? Yes, Daya Mataji.
Ishvara, Jiva, time, and 2 more are there.
Okay, good try. Thank you. Anyone
Hare
else?
Krishna Mataji. Prakriti.
Yes, Prakriti. Very nice. Anyone? Yes, Shubham Prabhu.
And karma.
Karma. So there are 5 truths: Ishvara, Jiva, Kala, Karma, and Prakriti. Right? And the same 5 tattvas are also explained in Isopanisad. And if we know, oftentimes Bhagavad Gita is also called Gitopanishad, because this is the essence of the Vedas, right? Essence of the Vedas is to know what? To know who? Krishna, right? So it is also called Gitopanishad. And Isopanishad is also defining these 5 truths. Now, coming to this question, why Isopanishad? Why Prabhupada wrote Isopanishad? Not only Srila Prabhupada, but also some of our acharyas, they wrote commentaries on the Isopanishad. Like our contemporaries were Bhaktivinoda Thakur, and also if you go a little bit back, then there was Baladev Vidyabhushan, and also by Madhvacharya, also by, if I'm right, even no, Ramanujacharya didn't write, but his followers wrote some commentaries on it. Madhvacharya wrote, Baladev Vidyabhushan wrote, and Bhaktivinoda Thakur wrote, and also our Srila Prabhupada. Now you see the link between, someone can say that the Krishna conscious movement is not authorized. Now, how would you prove that? It is authorized, and you will say that this is according to the Vedas. But Vedas are falling into Shrutis, not in the Smritis. Now, we can say that we have the Srimad Bhagavat as a praman, right? Srimad Bhagavat is a praman for us because this is the essence of the Vedanta Sutra. But there are people who are very staunch followers of the Vedas. Sorry. The staunch followers of the Vedas who don't want to accept, right? So, but in Isopanishad, the same 5 tattvas are explained. Now, when we write a commentary on Isopanishad, that means we are taking from Yajurveda, right? So it is emphasizing that whatever we are talking about in the Bhagavad Gita and Srimad Bhagavatam is also in the Vedas. So we are telling people that, this is very authorized, bona fide. Some people wanted this. We will see in the introduction when we read how at the end of the introduction, Prabhupada is going to explain the necessity of writing Govinda Bhashya by Baladev Vidyabhushan and what made him write. So because we have an authorized commentary on the Isopanishad, it tells that we follow the Vedas. We are not a deviant from the Vedas, because someone can say that Smritis are just written. It can be written by anyone. But we wanted to hear from the Veda itself, right? People argue like that. So this is one of the reasons why our acharyas took this mission to do commentaries on these Upanishads. If I'm right, there are other Upanishads, there are commentaries on other Upanishads. But Srila Prabhupada especially wrote only on the Isopanishad because it is covering all the 5 tattvas and the 5 truths. Is it clear? Yes. So what we will do now, we will go to the introduction and then we will read right. So let me share the screen. Okay, so this is a lecture by Srila Prabhupada on October 6th, 1969 at Conway Hall, London, England. So here Prabhupada is in the first paragraph, if you're seeing, he opens the paragraph saying, What are Vedas? What is Veda? It is a Sanskrit word and it is interpreted variously, but the purport is finally the one. Veda means knowledge. Any knowledge you accept is Veda. That's true. But again, Veda means that which is spoken by someone who is above the 4 defects. What are the 4 defects of the conditioned soul that Prabhupada here lists? The 4 defects are to commit mistakes, to be illusioned, cheating propensity, and imperfect senses. So any conditioned soul has 4 defects. Now Prabhupada gives an example of each defect. Now he first quotes Mahatma Gandhi. Now what Mahatma Gandhi, although he is very learned person and he is very recognized person, but still he didn't hear to the good advice of some of the people. He said that don't go to the meeting. There is a warning that you will die. Someone will attack you, but he didn't listen. So he made a mistake, to commit mistake. So Prabhupada says to err is human. Who among us, we don't make mistakes? Anyone? Do we make mistakes on a daily basis? Yearly basis? Yes, we make mistakes all the time. We are prone to make mistakes. It can be simple things, it can be complex things. It can be relationships, or it can be simple things handling at home. Or it can be simply, you're cooking something and then you put a little bit extra salt. That's a mistake, right? So we are prone to make mistakes. So, and then this next defect is to be illusion. What is illusion? To accept something that is not. Who we are and how we recognize ourselves is 2 different things. We always identify ourselves with the body, isn't it? Who are you? Someone asks you. The first thing that comes in, I'm a man, I'm a woman, I'm Indian, I'm American, I'm white, I'm brown, right? This is all false designations. So constantly we are in the illusion. So this is the second defect of the conditioned soul. Now the third defect is cheating propensity. We always have this tendency to cheat. Now Prabhupada here gives an example of how people take the Shastras right for their own benefits. Like we know there are 600 editions of Bhagavad Gita in the world. Why are there so many editions? Because people write for their own means. It could be for money, it could be for fame, it could be to satisfy their mental appetite, something. Why Prabhupada emphasized that the Bhagavad Gita should be published as it is? Because people need to know that this is the bona fide authorized presentation of what Krishna is presenting. So this cheating propensity is very strong. And we can give many, many examples of cheating propensity. And the last is our senses are imperfect. Now, we have hearing problems, seeing problems, we have stomach issues, we have this issues, that issues. So our senses are always, problematic. We can't see long distance things, we can't see short distance things, we can't hear after a certain range of things, right? Now, out of these 4 defects, one defect is something that we can rectify. What is that defect? Yes, Shubham Prabhu.
Mataji, cheating propensity.
Right, very nice. Why? How?
We can be honest.
Yes, we should be honest. Yes, thank you. Daya Mataji?
Mine was different. That was illusion. We can recognize ourselves as a soul.
Okay, but it's hard to be always on that platform. Often with the run of the life, it's very difficult unless and until we are on the very advanced stage. Someone else has raised hand. I'm so sorry, I missed it. Who was it?
It was me, but that question related to the previous segment this time.
Okay, so again, so we will continue with the introduction of Prabhupada. So here in the next paragraph, Prabhupada is telling that, we usually often we are called as Hindus, but we are not Hindus. We are not Hindus, but we belong to one ashrama system. This is a system that's given by Krishna. Chaturvarnamaya Shashtam Guna Karma Vibhagasya. And this is falling in the Sanatan Dharma. So here the classification is according to the gunas. There are classification of the Brahmanas, Kshatriyas, Vaishyas, and Sudras. And in ashram level is the Brahmachari, Grihastha, Vanaprastha, and Sannyas. So here Prabhupada is telling that, so whatever the Vedas are telling, why Prabhupada is quoting this? Because whatever the Vedas are saying, it is an axiomatic truth. What is axiomatic truth means? Which is self-evident. You don't need to prove it. Whether you like or dislike, it's a fact. It is a self-evidence. Now, we belong to one ashrama system. This is an axiomatic truth, and this is given in the Vedas. Now, to emphasize on that fact, because here Prabhupada is teaching us how to accept the principles of the Vedas, right? Like how we belong to the Varnashram system. And this is listed in the Vedas. This is not something man-made, not human-made, but this is God-given. He made this system. And this is propounded in the Vedas. Now, to emphasize that, Prabhupada gives an example. What does Prabhupada says? Cow dung is pure. Now, again, in the Vedas, somewhere it is listed that if someone touches the stool, they have to take baths. Now, it appears contradictory. Now, even the modern scientists, they found so many antiseptic properties in the cow dung, and they declared it has the most pure. So here again, what is this emphasizing? Whatever the Vedas are telling you, that is an axiomatic truth. That is the truth itself. Okay? Now, yeah, here Prabhupada gives an example in, at least not now, in the previous ages. If someone gets angry, they will say that, why I have to, take your word so seriously? Are you telling something from the Vedas? If someone is telling from the Vedas, there was people are bound to accept it. This was the importance of the Vedas. The knowledge that is coming, that is described, it has that importance. Now, Prabhupada in the next paragraph talks about Vedas are not compilation of the human knowledge, but it is coming from the spiritual world. From whom? From Krishna himself. So another name of the Vedas is Shruti. Shruti means that which we acquire, the knowledge which we acquire by hearing. So again, Prabhupada gives an example of who? The mother. So if you want to know who is your father, what's the best way? Instead of getting into a DNA testing for so many days and so many weeks, just go to your mother and just ask, who is my father? So the mother will tell you who is the father. So this is the best way to accept the knowledge. Now here the Vedas are considered mother and Brahma is considered grandfather, because Krishna gave this knowledge through the Brahman. Tene Brahma Hridaya. In the Bhagavatam first canto, first verse, it is said that the knowledge is revealed in the heart of the Brahman. And again, Prabhupada emphasizes that how this knowledge is coming always in the disciplic succession. Now here, Prabhupada talks about three kinds of evidences. Any living entity, they try to acquire knowledge, and there are three ways that we acquire the knowledge. What are the three ways? Pratyaksha, Anuman, and Shabda. Is everyone with me? Is it too much? Is okay? Okay. So pratyaksha means direct evidence. Now, what is an example of direct evidence? What is an example of direct evidence that Prabhupada gave? This is like, you make a you want to have the sense perception, right? And you want to go with it. But we have limited senses. Now we can see that, there is a small disk that is sun. But if you go to the sun planet, if you go to Srimad Bhagavatam in the 5th canto, it is described that how the sun god is going with the chariot and there's so many Devi Devatas are moving. How do we accept it? If you just go with the direct evidence, just with the pramana, what you see, it itself will never give you the full truth. It may take you to some part of the truth, but it won't give you the full evidence of that truth, right? Now, the second is Anuman. Anuman means inductive knowledge by speculation, hypothesis. Maybe this, maybe that, maybe this, maybe that. This is an example, like there are 5 people. They were blindfold and they were brought to the elephant. Some of you know this story? Yeah. So each one were made stand at one part of the elephant. So someone touches the tail and he says that, oh, this is a rope. And someone touches the leg and he says that, oh, this is a pillar. Someone touches the body and they say that, oh, this is a wall. Someone touches the trunk and they says that, oh, this is like a weapon. So when the blindfold was open, they say that it was an elephant. So Darwin's theory was also like this. Prabhupada was very, very heavy on Darwin and many scientists because they are just giving us the emphasis only on the theory basis. But when we come to the Bhagavad Gita and Srimad Bhagavatam, we see how the evolution of life is based on. How is it based on? Based on the consciousness, right? If you remember the verses from the Bhagavad Gita, 14th chapter, right? 14, 21 and 22. 14:22 or 13:22? Anyone? What were the verses? I think it's 13, 21 and 22. 13:21 talks about how the nature is the cause for the living entities' bodies. And then how the living entity accepts happiness and distress and how it enjoys the different modes of material nature. It is based on the consciousness someone gets a body. But nowadays, in all schools, in all colleges, in all universities, what are the kids exposed to? What are we were exposed to? The Darwin's theory. We believe it. We take it as a fact. Isn't it? So this is not a perfect way to gather knowledge. Now, the most perfect is by Shabda Praman, by hearing the knowledge. And what is the hearing source should be? This is the Vedas. When we understand the transcendental knowledge. Now, how do we know that someone reciting a knowledge that is you're hearing a knowledge, and how do we know that is bona fide or not? Anyone can say a verse from the Bhagavad Gita? Anyone? Yes, Shubham Prabhu.
Mataji, is it the shlok number 4.2? Evam parampara praptam. Like, is it come from it? Is it like if it comes from a disciplic succession, then we can accept it as the truth.
Okay, that's very nice. And any other shlokas? Daya Mataji, yes.
Chapter 4, when Krishna says that firstly I give this knowledge to son, and then that all. I don't
Okay.
remember exactly, but
Okay, yeah. Okay, Imam Rajasya Viduhu. I gave this knowledge to everyone. Yes. But I'm specifically looking for another shloka. Maybe if someone would like to try.
Mataji, Hare Krishna Mataji,
Yes.
is it 4.34? Tadvidhi Pranipatena Pariprasthana Seva.
Okay.
I
Now,
don't remember the next one.
if, for example, someone hasn't, okay, yeah, so yeah, going to the Guru and listening from him. Okay, very nice. I'm still looking for one more shloka. Sorry. 9.2. Pratyakshavagamanam Rajavijam Rajaguhyam Pavitram Idam Uttamam. Pratyakshavagamanam. So when we hear this knowledge, when we apply this knowledge in our life, there is an evidence. There is an evidence that comes. And so sukham kartavyam avyayam. Happily we will be engaged without any worries. And this knowledge is coming with, how do you say? That is something verifiable, right? If you chant Hare Krishna Mahamantra, are you happy? Prabhupada says chant and be happy. Are we happy by chanting Hare Krishna? Yes. So that is Praman. When we are hearing Srila Prabhupada, when we hear devotees say chant, eat, dance and be happy. How do we know? But we have to try this knowledge. When they say that, we have to apply this knowledge. So this is where the Praman stays. When we hear the knowledge, we should be able to apply, and then we will get that Praman. Although we may not have an experience of the spiritual world, but the process, when we are engaged in the process, it will gain us that confidence and it will give us that revelations, to understand the existence of the spiritual world. Now here, the next verse, Prabhupada is talking about the spiritual sky and how all inhabitants are eternal. And then also he's talking about how, so whom we accept Krishna as the highest authority. And then there are two kinds of transcendentalists. One is impersonalist, one is Vaishnava, personalist. And even amongst the impersonalists, there are Mayavadis who who are interested in the Brahma Jyoti, but they are not interested in the glorification of the Supreme Lord. And then we are talking about the Vaishnava Sampradaya, where we accept Krishna and his personality. So in the Isopanisad, we will see how we will understand, we will go through the impersonal aspects of the Lord and also the personal aspects of the Lord. That's why Isopanisad is complete. Now here Prabhupada says we published Bhagavad Gita as it is because if we accept Krishna as he is speaking without any interpretation, Krishna, that is Vedic knowledge. Since the Vedic knowledge is pure, we accept it. Whatever Krishna says, we accept it. This is Krishna consciousness. That saves much time. If you accept the right authority or the source of the knowledge, then you save so much of time. Then again, Prabhupada is giving, there are two kinds of knowledge that we get. One is inductive knowledge, one is deductive knowledge. What is inductive knowledge? Aroha Panta. There are two terms, Aroha Panta, Avaroha Panta. Is everyone clear? So, Aroha Panta is similar as Anuman Praman. So, you do hypothesis and you want to come to the conclusion. So, you're starting at the low base and then you wanted to build up and you wanted to come to the conclusion. This is Aroha Panta. Avaroha Panta means that which is descended from the spiritual world. They're just coming, they're giving to you. So, evam parampara praptam. What is the evam parampara praptam emphasizing on? Avaroha panta. Sorry. Yeah, Avaroha panta. That means the knowledge is given to us. Right? So we follow Bhagavad Gita and Srimad Bhagavatam and, in ISKCON, what are we following? Avaroha panta. Is it clear? Is it clear to everyone? Yeah. Now here, in the next purport, in the next paragraph of the purport, Prabhupada says, he's talking about the mind. Yes, Vishaka and Harishika. Yes, Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji, I didn't got the inductive and deductive part.
So inductive process means we rely on our senses and we want to build up, like we want to come to the conclusion on our strength. Okay. Say, like an example, how Prabhupada gave the example of, to know who is your mother. We go through the DNA testing, we give the reports, we have to go through the testing, and then finally we end up reaching to the conclusion. This is Arohapanta. This is inductive knowledge. We are only dependent on our senses and our mental abilities. But Avarohapanta means your mother will tell who is your father. Finished. So the knowledge is coming from your mother to you. So similarly, when Krishna is giving this knowledge, we don't need to speculate it. So we are removing the mental speculation, right? We will accept it because it is descended. Is it clear?
Hare Krishna. Okay, thank you, Mataji. Clear.
Thank you. Now here, Prabhupada is emphasizing why it is important to accept Guru. Why can't we reach the mind? Mind is very like very, very fast. More faster than the wind. But still, we won't be able to reach to the conclusion. But when the Guru gives us the knowledge, we will be able to reach to the conclusion. So what he's saying, don't just rely on your mental abilities. Just don't go into mental speculation, but actually depend upon the bona fide spiritual master. Take shelter of the bona fide spiritual master. And then here, Prabhupada writes in the next purport that how Krishna consciousness is completely authorized from the Vedic principles. Now, 15:15. What does Krishna says? The actual aim of the Vedic research is to find out Krishna. So even in the Brahma Samhita, there are so many innumerable forms, but they all are one. How do we understand? Because this is described in the Shastra. So all this knowledge we can understand very easily when we follow the Sadhu, Guru and the Shastra. Vishaka Mataji, you have another question? Your hand is raised.
No, Mataji.
Okay, thank you. So here Prabhupada is saying, in the Shastra we come across that how Krishna is always young, 16-year looking boy, but still, like when he was on the battlefield and the Kurukshetra, although he was 125 years on the earthly calculations, but still he looked so young. So how can we take him as, conclusion? So, if you are using your mind and you just wanted to learn, you are baffled, you will be baffled. But you learn from the devotees. You hear from the Bhagavatam, you hear from the Bhagavad Gita, then it's easy to understand Krishna, right? Then here, the next is why there was a purpose. What made Vyasadeva write Vedas? Why did he divide the Vedas? Initially there was only one Veda, but then he saw that the Kali Yuga was coming. Vyasadeva was able to see the future, and he understood that, people are not in a position to just hear and able to understand. So let me simplify. So he broke into 4 Vedas. And again, in the 4 Vedas, he understood that, there are classes of people who are less intelligent and no intelligence, and they won't be able to understand. So let me compile different itihasas. He wrote Mahabharata, he wrote, he compiled many other books, but he didn't, and he was not able to feel satisfied. We will read this in the Bhagavatam first canto, how he was feeling despondent. Then Narada Muni comes and he tells him, that's because you haven't sufficiently glorified the Supreme Lord. Because you haven't sufficiently glorified the Supreme Lord, you're feeling that despondency. Then in his mature realization, he compiled the Srimad Bhagavatam, which is the essence of all the Vedanta Sutra. Now, here again in the last paragraph, if I believe this is the last paragraph. Yeah, this is the last paragraph. Here, Prabhupada writes, the reason why Vyasadeva is writing the commentary on the Vedanta Sutra, because to glorify the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So similarly, there are so many Vaishnava commentaries, but as the Gaudiya Vaishnavas, we didn't have a commentary on the Vedanta Sutra. Because for us, the Srimad Bhagavatam is a natural commentary, right? So we don't need any other commentary on the Vedanta Sutra. We take the Srimad Bhagavatam as a natural commentary for the Vedanta Sutra. But there was an objection. So because there was an objection, Baladev Vijayabhushan has written Govinda Bhashya. This was in the Jaipur. And this was a commentary on the Vedanta Sutra. So again, what is Vedanta Sutras? So the Vedanta Sutras, if you remember my slides before, these Vedanta Sutras are actually the sutras from the Upanishads, right? And the essence of that Vedanta Sutras is Srimad Bhagavatam. It's a natural commentary that's again written by the Vyasadeva. So Isopanisad is bona fide in that way, and it's also bona fide because it is described again. It is describing the 5 tattvas of the Gita, and also it's describing the Srimad Bhagavatam. Srimad Bhagavatam is glorifying the Supreme Lord, and it's describing again in detail the Lord in the Isopanishad. So this is where we will finish the introduction. Are there any questions or comments or anything that you would like to add? Yes, Pandit Prabhu, Pandita Gadadhar Prabhu.
Mataji, I have a question. Mataji, how Srimad Bhagavatam is a part of Smriti, not Shruti?
Because it is compiled by Vyasadeva. It is compiled, that's why.
Mataji, could you please elaborate a bit more? Because what I heard is, or read is, Srimad Bhagavatam is being spoken by Shukdev Goswami to
Yes.
Parikshit Maharaj, wherein Shaunak Adi Rishi and all the sages of the Naimisharanya heard it.
Yes.
So is it not the Smriti, is it not the Shruti form that they heard it? Or how is it in Smriti content?
Vyasadeva, in his mature realization, he compiled the Srimad Bhagavatam. But the beauty is, it became more tasty when heard from Sukadeva Goswami. Sukumukha, it is explained that how the fruit, it's already sweet, but it is bitten by the parrot, it becomes more sweeter. So Sukha means Sukadeva Goswami. He has actually tasted the Bhagavatam and he gave. But actually Srimad Bhagavatam is compiled. That's why it is in the Smriti Shastras.
Oh, thank you.
We can also take an argument another way to see is actually Brahma heard the Srimad Bhagavatam in 4 verses, the Chatushloki Bhagavatam. So how is it, Smriti or Shruti. But for here to establish a structure, if my understanding is right, actually everything is a revelation from the Supreme Lord Himself. But here we are dividing some are as Shrutis and Smritis because to see what is actually written by Vyasadeva. The Vedas are initially just spoken, but later it was divided. But initially the Vedas were always spoken. Yeah. Any questions, comments? Yes, Jyotimanti.
Hare Krishna Mataji. I wanted to understand like what is the importance of commentary? Like why is it required in various aspects?
Commentaries are important because we are accepting, like say for example, Baladev Vijayabhushan has written Govinda Bhashya for the Srimad Bhagavatam. For us, Gaudiya Vaishnavas, Srimad Bhagavatam is a natural commentary and we accepted it. But to establish that Gaudiya Vaishnavas are also bona fides among the other circle of spiritualists and transcendentalists, Baladev Vijayabhushan has written this Govinda Bhashya. So when an Acharya writes a commentary, he is not in a doubt that whether it's bona fide or not. It is to establish that whatever we are doing, it is according to the Shastra Praman. You see, whatever we follow according to the Sadhu, Guru, and Shastra, right? So Shastra Praman is very, very important. And unless it is bona fide, people won't take it, won't accept it. That's why the commentaries were needed. Yeah. So what do we do? Now it's 8:22. Just take 5 minutes of break. Yeah, and then we'll come and do the invocation. Invocation is smaller, so we would be able to finish. Okay, we will resume at 8:28. Is that okay with everyone? You can drink, you can relax or go to washroom or something. Sure. Is everyone back? Yes, can we start? So, if I'm right, your memorization verses is invocation and first mantra, right? So, what we can do is we can go around and we'll recite one time. So, whoever wants to. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnam Eva Vasishyate. Anyone?
Om Purnam Ada Purnam Idam Purnat Purnam Udachyate Purnasya Purnam Adaya Purnam Eva Vashishyate.
Thank you. Bye bye, Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate.
Thank you. Nishtha.
Hare Krishna Mataji, then from Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnam Adaya Purnam Eva Vasishyate.
Thank you. Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji. Om Purnamadaha Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate.
Thank you. Tulsi Mataji.
Purnam idam Purnat Purnam Udachyate Purnasya Purnam Adhaya Purnam Eva Vasishyate.
Thank you. So we will see the word-to-word meaning and translation, and then we'll discuss each paragraph of the verse. Is that good? Okay. Om, the complete whole. Purnam, perfectly complete. Adaha, that. Purnam, perfectly complete. Idam, this phenomenal world. Purnat, from all perfect. Purnam, complete unit. Udachyate is produce. Purnasya, of the complete whole. Purnam, completely all. Adhyaya, having been taken away. Purnam, the complete balance. Eva, even. Abhivasyate is remaining. Translation. The personality of Godhead is perfect and complete, and because he is completely perfect, all emanations from him, such as this phenomenal world, are perfectly equipped as complete wholes. Whatever is produced of the complete whole is also complete in itself. Because he is the complete whole, even though so many complete units emanate from him, he remains the complete balance. So, how many of you understood completely? Yes, Vishaka Mataji. Vishaka, you wanted to say something? Okay. So we'll break down the translation and we'll try to understand a little bit here, and then we'll go to the purport, and then we'll take Srila Prabhupada's purport and understand better. Now, what is the supreme personality of Godhead nature? The Lord is perfect and complete, right? Because he's complete, anything that is coming from him is also complete, right? He is perfect and complete. Anything that is coming from him is also complete. So that means the material world is coming from the Supreme Lord. So that's why it is also complete. Now, anything that is produced from this complete is also complete in itself. Right? This, like the jivas, they're part and parcel of the Supreme Lord, they're complete. The phenomenal world, it is coming from the Supreme Lord, is also complete. Because he is complete whole, even though so many complete units emanate from him, he remains the complete balance. So it's not like 1 minus 1 is 0. You know, Krishna se kuch le like minus ho gaya, so Krishna has become half. It's not like that. Krishna always remains perfect and complete. The Supreme Lord always remains complete, perfect and complete. Although there's so many complete units come out. Is it clear? You're completely confused or completely understood? What is it?
I understood. Mataji.
Understood,
Completely
Mataji.
clear.
Understood.
Okay. Nishita Mataji, your hand is raised. Sorry.
Yes, Mataji. Mataji, though you have stated that something which is coming from Krishna is complete, and Krishna, being the personality of Godhead, is perfect. Now, when you look at the first element about being perfect, because Krishna is perfect and complete,
Right.
I don't know how much sense it will make, but then when we look at the jivas, we've just discussed in the introduction that we have our own defects. So that when we are coming from Krishna, then how come we are, as in being the part and parcel, not perfect in terms, we are complete, that I get, we are part and parcel, but then why not the first quality?
No, that's very nice question. Thank you, Mataji. You're just, steering us to the point what Prabhupada is mentioning in the first paragraph of the purport. Prabhupada is going to mention, he's talking about Satchitananda. Krishna is complete because he's Satchitananda, right? As a jiva, we are also Satchitananda. That's how we are perfect and complete. But the 4 defects that we spoke is our conditioned nature. This is not our spiritual nature. This is our conditioned nature. That's why we exhibit these 4 defects. But when we have this complete, pure Krishna advancement in our Krishna consciousness, when we return back to the spiritual world, we also come to that Satchitananda, completely perfect. So that is how we are perfect and complete as we are coming out. I was actually expecting another question. I thought that, how is this material world perfect and complete when there are so many problems? It is perfect and complete because everything is there in this material nature. Krishna gave everything that is required for this material world to be functioning. That is how it is perfect and complete. Thank you, Nishita Madhu. Yes, you want to add?
Just to add to what you have stated at the end, maybe refer to chapter 15 for justification of it being perfect and complete, because again, it has been made in the reflection because we wanted to enjoy and had the desire. So,
Yeah.
how will we be able to correlate if we look at chapter 15?
Like you were talking about the tree, the banyan tree.
Hanji, because you stated that Krishna has given things over here, therefore it is perfect and complete. But when we look at chapter 15, it talks about Dukhale Ashashvatam, the material world, to be the reflection. So something which is reflected, how is it?
Although it is reflected, although it's a reflection, it is complete because here you have all means for the material sustenance and you have all means for the spiritual realization.
Okay, Mataji.
Yeah. So we have given the facility because we have this perverted desire that we want to enjoy like Krishna. Krishna created this material universes, phenomenal world. However, he also gave us the spiritual realization to, embark on that journey of the spiritual, discovery of ourselves. Right? Thank you. Yes, Daya Mataji.
Mataji, my question is something which is like maybe related or this or maybe not, but I want to ask.
Yeah.
That is like does our soul need any type of improvement, revival?
Yeah, we need the revival is our, we have to recover from our forgetfulness. We have forgotten Krishna. Now, whole bhakti process, whole Krishna conscious, what is it doing? It is helping us to wake up to that spiritual realization that we are actually spirit soul, and not only that, we are actually part and parcel of Krishna.
I was confused that the
So
soul.
as a soul, it doesn't have any defects. It's just we have forgotten. And because you've forgotten, say for example, have you played any dramas before? Anytime?
No.
No. Have you seen any
Once,
dramas? Oh, you have seen
once I
movies?
have.
You have seen some movies before?
Yes.
Some movies or dramas. Now the actor goes into his role and he completely forgets who he
Also.
was. He's completely acting to justify his role, right? And he gets the best actor award and all these things. But what is he doing? He has forgotten who he is and he has adopted to something he's not. And then we are applauding here, sitting here, and we are saying that, oh, you have done a great job, you have done such nice acting. So this is exactly what is happening to us. We have just become actors and we have forgotten completely about who we are and our relationship with the Lord. And because of that, we experience incompleteness in our lives. If we have any kind of dissatisfaction or unhappiness, or we are not completely fulfilled, that's because we are not completely in connection with the Lord. Getting the point? So the soul, as a soul has no problems. It's just that we are covered. The consciousness is super covered. Like you're wearing the glasses, right? Prabhupada gives this example, the glasses. Now you put yellow paper on it. So everything that you see is yellow. Then you put the red paper. Then everything you see is red. But when you peel off, you will see as it is.
Transparent.
Yes. Thank you, Mataji. Vaibhavi, Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji, in the last second paragraph, it is mentioned that living beings are part and parcel of the complete whole. And this material world is also a part of Lord. And so it is complete. So I'm quite confused with the statement mentioned over here that the illusory representation of completeness cannot fully satisfy them, the living entities. So when this material world is also a part of Lord, and whatever is a part of Lord, it is also complete, then how it is not able to fully satisfy the living entities? Then both of them are the complete.
Very nice question. Then you have to go back to 7th chapter of the Bhagavad Gita, 7:14 and 7:4 and 5 verses. Apara Shakti, Parashakti. Right? There are some inferior energies, there are some superior energies. What are we trying to do? Krishna says, Mamai Vamso Jiva Loke Sanatana, they are always eternal part and parcels of me. This is from the 15th chapter. But what are they doing? They are trying to exploit. Constantly, we are trying to exploit. It's just like, you got a dry towel and you're trying to squeeze. And you're thinking that there will be some water coming out. So this is what we are trying to do with the material energy. Material energy as it is complete. Whatever you needed is fully equipped here. But we are exploiting. We are exploiting to that point that, we are immersed in our greed and lust. Right? Today we are complaining that there are social problems, environmental problems, economic problems. Why do they come? Because I want to be happy. I want to show that I am complete whole, some or the other. I want to be like Krishna. I want to be perfect. Now, what is Isopanisad teaching us? You can't be exploiting the material nature and become complete. You have to connect yourself back to Krishna and then become complete. It's just like you see your fingers, right? Now, I'll cut off one of my finger. Okay, and then the finger is lying down somewhere. Now, does that finger has any value cut out from my body?
No.
Will it be engaged in any activity?
No.
It is complete, right? Right? The very fact that we are disconnected with the Supreme Lord, we experience this incompleteness. But when we engage back in bhakti, then we start to, connect back, and then we will experience that completeness, because we are not the material bodies. We are the spirit souls. How can spirit can enjoy the matter? You can't enjoy the matter. But because we have this wrong desire that we want to be Krishna, we want to enjoy the matter, Krishna gave this material world. Right? So, like, you can see an example, like when people come to the temple, they automatically, their faces become very bright, they were happy, they forget all the problems, all the stress. Why is it so? They're coming in contact with the Lord through the holy name, through the vibrations, through the temple, through the devotees, through the prasadam, through the books. Everywhere they're getting connected. Right? So, is that clear?
Yes, Mataji. Thank you so much.
Okay. So what we will do, for next 5-10 minutes, we will quickly go through the purports. There are not many paragraphs. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then we will come back and discuss. So in the first paragraph, Prabhupada is talking about how the Lord, the Supreme Lord, is complete. Now, the Lord has 3 features. The Lord can be realized in 3 features: Brahman, Paramatma, and Bhagavan, right? Some spiritualists, they understand, they want to realize only Brahman. They're interested only in, being attracted to the bodily effulgence of the Lord. So this is Brahman realization. Now, there are some spiritualists, they are interested only in the Paramatma. So in his partial expansion, in everyone's heart, in every atom, how he is present and how he is pervading. But in the complete realization, someone can have complete realization of the Supreme Lord when they understand the Bhagavan aspect. Now, Prabhupada, he divides that again to understand. When someone understands only the Brahman realization, they understand the Sat feature of the Lord. What is Sat? Sat means eternal, how the Lord is eternal, right? Now, someone understands Paramatma, they understand 2 aspects, Sat and Chit. What is Sat? Eternity. Chit means knowledge. Okay? They have the knowledge how the Lord is omnipotent, how the Lord is omniscient, how the Lord is everywhere pervading. We start to understand that the person, energy, and the energetic, how his energy is working and how the energies are connected to the Supreme Lord. So this is the knowledge aspect. But someone comes to the Bhagavan realization, not only Sat and Chit, but they will also understand the Ananda. They experience Anand, bliss, because there's a personal exchange, right? So Sat Chit Ananda. So if we want to understand how the Lord is absolute truth, incomplete, then we should come to the Bhagavan realization. Not just stop our spiritual endeavor only at the Brahman realization or at the Paramatma realization, but to appreciate and come to that aspect of the Bhagavan. Then we will understand how the Lord is Satchitananda. And not only that, the Lord is not formless. He's Satchitananda Vigraha. He always has this form, transcendental spiritual form. And that's why he is complete. Is that clear? Now, the complete, like at the end of the first paragraph, Prabhupada writes, the complete whole must contain everything within and beyond our experience. Otherwise, he cannot be complete. Now, the Lord should have everything that we have and more than what we have, right? Then only he is supremely complete. That's what his Prabhupada here is mentioning. Otherwise, he's not considered to be complete. So when we talk about his form is not a material form. His form is the spiritual form. As we go in the further verses like 4, 5, and 6, we will see how there is some qualities he possesses and some qualities what he doesn't possess. We will go in deeper understanding of that. Is everyone clear up to here? Right. Now, in the second paragraph, Prabhupada is explaining how this phenomenal world, this material world is also complete. How is it complete? Because it has 24 elements, right? Everything required for this material world, for its maintenance and sustenance, is provided. And we don't need an extraneous effort to maintain this universe. Do we do anything to maintain this universe? Do we go to work to maintain this universe? No, it's automatically. Do we tell the earth that you have to rotate around this way, Do we tell the earth that, you have to stay in the orbit? Do we implore any kind of laws for the universe to go? Do we tell the sun that, tomorrow's appointment is, you come in the morning at 4:56? No, it automatically happens. The moon comes, the sun, the moon comes, the sun goes, the sun comes and the moon goes. The weather changes. Who is dictating? Krishna has made a perfect arrangement for the entire material world working. We are not doing anything. And because it is coming from the Lord, it is complete in its nature. Now, in the third paragraph, Prabhupada explains, all facilities are given to the small, complete units, namely the living entities, that is the jivas, to realize the complete whole. All forms of incompleteness are experienced due to incomplete knowledge of the complete whole. To the degree we are not connected to Krishna, to that degree we will feel incompleteness. To the degree that someone is connected to the Supreme Lord, to that degree they will feel complete. Now we see many great Vaishnavas. We are so blessed that we are surrounded by so many great Vaishnavas who are leading by such, exemplary, how they show that fearlessness, how they display this freedom. And they're very satisfied, very peaceful. But हमारे साथ क्या होता है? किसी ने कुछ बोल दिया, पूरा दिन खराब हो जाता है, right? How come she said that to me? How come he said that to me, right? Just one word can trigger our mind, can spoil the whole day. Even after 10 years also we will remember that word, right? उसने उस टाइम पर वो बात बताया था, right? Because we are not completely in harmony with the Supreme Lord. We take most immaterial little things to be most important things of our life. Isn't it true? So, and then here Prabhupada is explaining how one gets a human form of life. And this is out of 8.4 million species. And I just wanted to read one particular, this is in transmigration, a table of statistics, not statistics, the figures, how, sorry, I should have got it on the screen already. Just a second. Oh yeah, I got it. Now, out of 8.4 million species, aquatics are 9 lakh species, okay? Trees and plants are 2 million species. Insects and reptiles are 1.1 million species. Birds are 1 million species. Animals are 3 million species. And human beings are 4 lakh species. So if someone becomes a fish, It doesn't mean that you just become a Finding Nemo, just become one Nemo, and then you jump into the next one. No, you have to finish all the aquatic life. That means that you have to be rotating in that 9 lakh species of life. And then you will be going to the next level of the trees and plants, which are 2 million species. Now you just don't become a potato plant or a cauliflower plant or like that. You can be a thorny bush somewhere in the deserts or in the Amazon forest. You are living for ages and ages and ages, you know. And then you will go into insects and reptiles, not just one centipede or millipede that we see. There are many, many living organisms, you know. So we have to go through all of those. And then birds. We don't just become the parrots and peacocks and pigeons, you know, sparrows, but we can become even the vultures and eagles and whatever. And then animals, not the fancy dogs and cats, but actually we can go through any kind of animals. And then in the human beings also, there are so many uncivilized tribes. There's so many, what do you say? The people who don't are still not yet exposed to the Krishna conscious. But see, our life, we have got a chance, not only chance, but we have got the mercy of to practice Krishna consciousness. So how important is to take this process very, very seriously. How important is to connect ourselves with the complete whole. You know, the process is given and the method is given. It's just we need to follow. Krishna Mataji, just we will take in few minutes. I'll take your question. I just wanted to finish this paragraphs and then we will take question. Then in the last but before paragraph, Prabhupada is saying, because we don't know that there is a complete arrangement in the nature for our maintenance, we make efforts to utilize the resources of nature to create a so-called complete life of sense enjoyment. Now, you see the nature itself. How is it working? In the summer, it's very super scorching heat. But then what is happening? Krishna gives all the juicy fruits in summer, right? You get the watermelons, you get the mangoes, you get, you know, all the juicy, juicy fruits. Why only in the summer? And in the winter, when it's very cold and when we are coughing, then Krishna gives all the fruits and vegetables that is helping for our body. It's simple, something that we observe the nature, we see the nature, we understand that how Krishna has made a perfect arrangements. Now imagine that, you know, throughout the 365 days, we just have summer, no winter, no rain. How will you feel? Now, eventually, because of the climatic changes, you know, environmental pollutions, that is what it is leading to, the global warming. But there is a distribution so that our body is also, you know, arranging for it. So everything is already there. But we are thinking that, you know, okay, garmi aa gaya, so we'll put an AC. Sardi aa gaya, we'll put on a heater. And we think that we have advanced. We actually advanced in our civilization. Now, what is Prabhupada saying? That, you know, this is actually misleading. This is actually misleading. We are just focused on the sense enjoyment. And we are thinking that we are actually providing ourselves a complete life. Now there are so many, you know, people who are into, like an example, no criticism, you know, how many people they go through this workplace stress and anxiety. Of course, they earn like 6-figure packages, 7-figure packages, but how much stress and anxiety you take? And how much prasad you will eat? 2 chapatis, 3 chapatis, right? So, but what we are thinking that, you know, if I advance this way, I am recognized, I'm complete, I am perfect. But your completeness comes only by the spiritual practices, only by engaging in Krishna consciousness, only by taking up bhakti. Here, Prabhupada is giving the example of the hand of the body. You know, to that point, the hand is attached to the body, it is complete. The moment it is severed from the body, it has no value. And then the last, Prabhupada gives example, Prabhupada is talking about the completeness of the human life can be realized only when one engages in the service of the complete whole. Right? And all the services in this world, whether social, political, communal, international, or even interplanetary, will remain incomplete until they are dovetailed with the complete whole. When everything is dovetailed with the complete whole, the attached part and parcels also become complete in themselves. Now, what is an example? There is a peace, treaty, right? There is a peace committee in the world. There's a whole team of people who are working on the world peace. But in spite of that, there are wars, there are, exploitations. Why? Because they're not connected to Krishna. So if you want to become perfect, then first and foremost is to we should come back to Krishna. Then only we will feel completeness. So I have a small task until tomorrow. So I want you to write your reflections that what are you facing incompleteness in your life? If yes, what will be some of your practical measures that you will improve that incompleteness by connecting to Krishna? You got the question? Yes. So please think about it.
Please repeat the question.
First of all, this is an introspection for ourselves. Are we experiencing any kind of incompleteness? And if yes, what will be some practical measures or practical steps, doable steps, don't aim like, I will chant 64 rounds from tomorrow. No, something doable steps that I can help myself to connect to Krishna more effectively, to experience that completeness. Is that clear? Yeah.
Okay,
Yes,
Mataji.
Mataji.
Yes. Krishna Mataji, you had a question before?
Sri Krishna Mataji, yes.
Yes.
I have two questions.
Yes.
You said, and I also read somewhere, that human beings have species 4 lakh or population. Population is so much. So
No, it's not population. It's the species itself, 4 lakhs. So you see, there are different kinds of species, like in the humans also, they're like subhumans. They're on the different planetary systems. Like, Devatas, they're one kind of species. There are Kinnaras, Kimpurushas, Upadevatas. So there are like different varieties. And also, like even you can see on the earthly planet also, there are like different tribes, So that all comes in the classification of that 4 lakh species.
thank you, Mataji. My second question is, we should understand whole and complete from this point, as Krishna has 64 qualities and we jivas have 50 qualities, and we are just like the rays of the sun. So we can't be sun. We are only the rays. We have very minute things, just like Krishna. So even if we chant 64 rounds or 192 rounds, we can connect to Krishna, but we can't be complete like Krishna.
No, just by connecting to Krishna itself makes us complete. That itself will make us perfect. See, I'll give you. It's
But
not.
still we have
It's
four
not. It's
defects
not
also.
about. Sorry.
4 defects, as we just discussed.
4 defects are the part of our conditioned nature. This is nothing to do with the soul. Because I'm in this conditioned nature, I exhibit these 4 defects. This is first point. Second, it's not about how many qualities you have. It's about your ultimate connection to the Lord. See, like you take an example of the hand. You know, each finger is differently sized. They're different, right? But they all work together, and that makes a complete, you know, like a hand, right? So the point is that when we get connected to Krishna, we become the complete and perfect. Like you take the example of, you know, devotees. Some are in Santaras, some are in Asyaras, some are in Sakyaras, some are in Madhuryaras, some are in Vatsalyaras. Now you cannot say that, oh, Radharani is perfect, but not Yashodamai. No, we cannot say that. You know, each one of us, we connect to Krishna in a certain way, and our connection itself will make us complete and perfect. Even though we are just only having 50 qualities as a jiva. But qualitatively, we are the same, Satchidananda. This is why Prabhupada in the Bhagavad Gita often, again and again, he gives this example that, you know, like the salt in the ocean and the salt in the drop of water is the same. You know, quantity-wise, they're different, but quality-wise, they're the same.
Blueprint is same, but just as you said, quality may it could be small or large.
Yeah. And we can never become Krishna. We are always the parts and parcels of the Lord. Someone,
Thank you, Mataji.
Thank you, Mataji. Someone raised their hand, Nishita Mataji.
Hi, Krishna Mataji. Mataji, I wanted to ask when you stated this thing, that we have subdivisions under the category, as in these many lakhs for aquatic, and you stated that we have to go through each category and then we get done with that one particular. I mean, I understood it as this.
Right.
That we have to
Yeah,
go.
that is how it is.
Okay, it's like, oh.
But again, in the human form of life, you're not just you just didn't become Nishita just like that. You know, there are other births, you know, that you have taken, and then, you know, based on our pious and impious, that's why you see what Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita. The intricacies of karma are very difficult to understand. He just gave straight away that, because how that our karma pushes us is very, very difficult to understand. And what is the greatest loss that, you know, that what is the greatest danger? If you remember from the Bhagavad Gita 2nd chapter, Krishna says the greatest danger is falling back into lower species of life. Although they're soul, although they're Satchidananda, but you know, their life is only about eating, sleeping, mating, and defending. They cannot inquire. So, yes, when the jiva, you know, when it falls, first they become the Brahma and it's the pious. But eventually, you know, based on our activities, you will see in the Isopanisad how, what makes us go through the lower species of life. And what should we do to, you know, to utilize this human form of life, which is like a bridging, you know, like a bridge, like a stepping stone to move to the higher consciousness. Yeah. But it doesn't mean that, you know, if we fall down, then we fall down to the lower species straight away. But there could be so many parameters. You know, there are so many parameters. Say people who are in complete mode of ignorance. You know, they're just they do fall. But you know, at least for the 10,000 years, we are in the golden age of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who is giving this mercy without any discrimination. So this is a time of celebration, and you know, part of the celebration is we have to spread Krishna consciousness. Yeah. Thank you, everyone. Sorry to go beyond your time, and please do forgive me for my shortcomings if there are any. And tomorrow, hopefully, we will be able to do verse 1, 2, and 3. And please do your assignment. it's nice to introspect. You have an entire day to think about it. Yeah, so we will see you all tomorrow. Thank you. Vanchakalpatarubhyasya kripa sindhubhyeva cha patitanam pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo namo. Jai Srila Prabhupada. Hare Krishna, everyone.
Hare
Hi.
Krishna.
Pranam. Thank you so much,
Hare
Mataji. Pranam to all devotees.
Pranam to all.